Hi, I'm Michty Max and I'm here to show you this sparkly blinged out pop art lips. I didn't want to do the standard pop art look, which is what you get before you stick a bunch of stuff to your face. I just had to put my spin on it and make it much more extreme and pretty and kind of a little freaky too, I must say. This is cool for an abstract lip art, but with the extreme winged liner and giant lips, it also makes for a decent Halloween look with a touch of creepy and kookiness. I have a tutorial for the Gothic Pin-Up Extreme Eyeliner where I try some new Real Techniques brushes, and you can find that link below. What made this lip art possible was the cool little tool from ScraPerfect called Embellie Gellie, and I have a coupon code in the description box, plus at the end of this video you might find a little surprise, if you catch my drift. And my video title. And check out the description box for my discount codes and the link to my blog for the product details. Here I'm using MAC Lip Conditioner to moisturize my lips before I finish the rest of my face. Here I'm using MAC Prep and Prime Lip to prime my lips. I'm going to take the little stub of my MAC lip pencil in Cherry and outline my lips. Now I'm grabbing the Rimmel Soft Kohl in Pure White and I'm going to draw on the highlight areas. I'm sketching out shapes that I think would look decent and realistically reflect on a glossy lip. You can change these if you don't like them later, as I will. Then back to the Cherry lip pencil and I'm filling in the rest of my lips while reshaping the highlight areas and cleaning up the lines of my sketch. I'm also enlarging the shape of my lips to make sure I have enough space above the highlight to place the 2mm rhinestones I will use later. Plus, overdrawing your lips lets you have a larger canvas to create lip art. I wanted to create a pointed cupid's bow in this lip art because usually people who do pop art lips make the whole lip shape quite round, so to put my stamp on it I made the lips more angular. Now I'm using NYX Slim Lip Liner in Blackberry to outline my lips following the shape I already created. I started at the lower left side and went for a border of about 2mm and continued that around the whole lips. As I said, this is just a sketch and you can remove and redraw any part you don't like. It's easy at this stage and you can just quickly grab a cotton bud and wipe in towards the lips, then reapply the pencil. I stuck with the angular shapes and created slightly upturned points at the corners of my lips for an always smiling effect. You can use reference photos if you desire for your design, but I found that I just worked with my lip shape and went for whatever I felt like at the time. I mean, there is no right way to create art. Then I went into the center of my lips and colored along the whole inside of my top and bottom lip. I also created a bunch of lines radiating out from the black areas, thus adding the shading that gives a 3D pop art pouty lip result. I also went into the corners to create depth there and colored in the edges, joining it to the inside shading. I decided that I wanted to change where I put the highlights on the upper lip, so I used the red liner and a pointed cotton bud to remove the pencil in the same shape but put it higher, and then applied the white pencil to those areas, making them more to my liking. I'm wiping off the white pencil in between applications to make sure I don't end up with a pink color instead of a pure white. For pop art lips, I prefer a disjointed highlight line on the top lip because if you draw a solid line following your cupid's bow, it kind of looks like a mustache. Then I took the lip brush from Sugar Pill and also their matte white shadow called Taco and used it to set the white pencil. It doesn't matter if this part is slightly messy because I'll be going in with a red lipstick afterwards. The square edge of this brush is really great to get these shapes sharp, and although this is the first time I'm using this brush, I'm finding it pretty great so far. I went back between the red lip pencil and the white eyeshadow to finalize the shape of these highlights. And there, we have the basics done. For the red color, I chose Lime Crime Velveteen in Red Velvet, and I applied some to the back of my hand and picked up the Real Techniques retractable lip brush to apply it over the red pencil base. If you wanted to do a pop art lip without all the bling, you should definitely use matte colors to make the cartoon illusion look right. That way you can create highlights and contours without the interference of reflection from a glossy or creamy lipstick. So I went around covering the red space while cleaning up the white highlights, but not worrying about going over the black areas, which I will cover next. I went in with the Sugar Pill white eyeshadow and the lip brush one last time to make sure the highlights were opaque. Then for the black areas, I got Lime Crime Velveteen in Black Velvet and smeared some on the back of my messy hand palette and chose the Real Techniques detail brush to start the lower part of the outline and used the tip of the brush to trace all the black details I sketched earlier. For the corners, I applied the liquid lipstick straight from the applicator and smoothed it out with the brush, then took the product along the top outline and made sure the corners were sharp and the outer points were upturned. I went along the line details with the brush, making them more obvious, and also took the product along the very inner rim of my lips with the applicator once again. I touched up with the red matte lipstick and made the outer shading curved. I lastly added thickness to the lower part of the outline to make it visibly as thick as the rest of it when my head is straight, because my lip kind of curves over and covers that part. So here's the design with just the matte lipsticks, which is a basic look for pop art lips. You can make them less overdrawn and add as much or as little detail as you like. So for the rhinestones, I'm using a very useful tool called Embellie Gellie from ScraPerfect, which you may have seen in some of my other tutorials. I will be using Duo eyelash adhesive to stick them on, plus these 2mm red ones that I got from Born Pretty, and some black 2mm rhinestones. Then for the highlights, I'll be using these clear rhinestones in this wheel which I got off eBay. I'm going to apply the glue with this toothpick, and I'm starting out with the highlight details on the upper lip to make sure I get them where I've sketched them out. Then I'm grabbing the 2mm clear ones and picking them up with ScraPerfect Embellie Gellie. I'm also placing these 1mm red rhinestones from Born Pretty in between the small spaces I left in the highlight, because the larger red rhinestones won't fit there. Then I finished out the line with those shiny clear crystals. I squeezed some glue out onto my work surface in advance so it gets tacky quicker and you don't have to wait for as long to apply the rhinestones, because I'm very impatient. For the lower lip highlight, I used a combination of 2mm and 1mm clear rhinestones from that wheel to cover the white areas. Just apply whatever size fits and do what feels right. The small stones also let you make the elongated highlight taper off nicely, so there you have that. For the black outline, I'm starting at the Cupid's bow to get the shape right. As you see, I'm only applying a few dots of glue at a time to make sure it doesn't dry before I get the rhinestones on it. I'm also using the other end of the Embellie Gellie stick to move the rhinestones into position, which is very helpful. After I finish the upper lip outline, I'm going on to the outer corner black areas. For this look, I placed as many as I could, going pretty far onto the inside of my lips. However, if you want to wear this out for a while, I would suggest making sure you don't use as many rhinestones on the inner corners, so it will be more comfortable. I'm using false eyelash glue here, but for a long-wearing rhinestone look, I would suggest using Prosate, which you can find online. It's a special effects adhesive, and make sure you get the remover that goes along with it. After I finish the outline, I've got this. And then I'm on to the inner definition details. I really maxed out my lip space by going all the way into the inner rim of my lips, and I dotted the glue and placed the rhinestones all along my bottom and top lips like so. Periodically, I apply a new big blob of glue to my work surface and let it get tacky before using it. I do this when my other blob gets too gunky. It's a very technical process with blobs and gunk and all that stuff. You definitely want to start with all the details first and then fill in your main color to make sure there's enough space for it all. Then I'm going on to those radiating lines, and I'm adding some 1mm black rhinestones randomly to the ends of some of the lines to make them more delicate, and using the 2mm standard rhinestones for the rest of those bits. Here I also thickened up the inner rim with some of the 1mm black rhinestones to fill it out. Another tip is to pour the rhinestones out onto your hand so you can easily pick them up with Embellie Gellie even quicker instead of chasing them around your work surface. A key way to use Embellie Gellie is to pick up the rhinestone off your hand or surface by the shiny top part of it, and then arrange it so you can place its flat surface on the glue dot easily. I tend to knock the stones around in my hand and make them sit sparkly side up so I can quickly pick them up and stick them on one after the other. And the best thing is that this tacky stuff on the end of the stick doesn't leave any residue on the crystals to make them dull or funky like that. I completed the top details with the 1 and 2mm rhinestones, and then I was left with this. And now for the colourful part. I applied the glue in between the details and crammed in the 2mm rhinestones that I got from Born Pretty store. I had to maneuver them in, but they ended up fitting, so it turned out just fine. Basically, you want to fill in all those areas using the red stones by applying the glue onto the area like all the other parts, and popping those suckers on there with my stickety stick and pressing them down with my finger to make sure they're on there properly. I didn't stick to much of a regimented application where everything was in a diagonal line and perfect, but the end result didn't suffer from not lining them up like that. Here, I'm also adding 1mm red rhinestones where there is a space too small for the larger ones to make sure the whole surface is covered in bling. You can also do this look with pink or any color you desire and put your own flavor all over it. If you like the rhinestones I used from Born Pretty store, you can get them for yourself or just take advantage of my coupon for 10% off any product on their website. So after the last finishing touches, that's it! As I said, I couldn't just do the pop art lip as normally created. I had to add some 3D embellishments to make it more crazy, totally nuts, and really sparkly looking. This lip would be a cool idea for Halloween, and I think lip art is a great alternative to painting your whole face. As I said, if you wanted the rhinestones to stay on longer, you can use Prozaid, which is a special effects adhesive, and it needs a specialized remover to get it off your skin. According to the Prozaid site, it is non-toxic and completely safe, so it should be fine for the lips, and I hope to pick some up for myself soon. Now for the little surprise, which is pretty much given away in the title of the video. I have a brand spanking new ScraPerfect Embellie Jelly kit to give away to one lucky viewer. I love to use this stuff and thoroughly recommend it. Seriously, I would not do any rhinestone looks if I didn't have it. I mean, imagine the hand cramp from tweezers. So to enter this competition, all you have to do is comment below what you want to be for Halloween. Don't worry if you're not doing the whole Halloween thing. You can still comment and say what theme you would like to dress up as. And I say good luck to you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this glitzy lip art tutorial and subscribe for more videos. I thoroughly encourage anyone to pick a theme and make a lip art look based on that and use that for their Halloween debauchery. Feel free to show me what you do and tag me on any social media, which you can find details for all that linked in the description box. I'm Michty Max everywhere and I'll see you there. Also check iTunes for my podcast and music.
Click the little boxes if you want to see other tutorials of mine.